Yo, what up, man? Welcome to another episode of The Juice, and I am your boy IG, and we got with us today Mykey Iso. Yo, Mikey, introduce yourself to the people, my man.
Hey man, it's your boy Mykey Iso, straight from A-Leaf, Texas, man. I'm just glad to be here.
All right, straight from A Leaf. So we're gonna get right into that, man. A Leaf, the SWAT, you
Yeah.
know, with right now with Toby and G Way being from there, how does that hip hop scene going in A Leaf right now? Because I know he big.
Mm-hmm. A-Leaf is actually moving, man. I actually know Toby. He's good people. It's a lot of us that's just, that grew up in that area and, the way A-Leaf is set up and stuff is just like, we were heavily into sports, hip hop, and just trying to excel and just come out of that area of Houston and, just be something. So I'm glad to see where A-Leaf is at. It's in a beautiful spot now, especially like for my generation of people that really grow up because they're really expanding that mindset and letting the world know what A-Leaf, Texas is about.
For sure, for sure. I used to live in A Leaf too, so for a little while.
Hmm.
So I know Derry Ashford and Westheimer. I was over there. I know the
Oh,
game.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I was over there. I definitely know that. So we're gonna get into your music now. Let me see. I'm gonna tell you how someone described your music to me. First,
Okay.
what he said was, "I need to check out Mykey Iso." He said he sounded like that dude from DC, and I was like Wale, because that's really like the only dude I know from DC besides like Fat Trail and stuff like that. But they ain't big like Wale. Like
Hmm.
Wale mix meets Outkast.
Mm.
How would you describe your music?
Um, Definitely outcast influenced. I grew up heavily jamming Three Stacks, Big Boy, Quimini, Stankonia, two of my favorite albums by them, The Love Below, Speaker Box, of course, and just a lot of their stuff. So I'm definitely outcast influenced. Some of my inspirations, Kanye, of course, Jay-Z, um, even some of the new cats out right now, where they're not really new, but like Big Crit, Cole, Kendrick, Wale, and all these guys, and just being Nigerian, hearing Afro beats and all these Fela Kuti back when I was a kid, so all the jazz influences just in me, and it really inspired me as a kid growing up, and I just blended all that together and became Mikey Iso.
I got you. I got you. And you brought up Afro beats because
Hmm.
I was gonna bring that up anyway because you do have a song on your album that's
Yeah.
very Afrobeat influenced, and I was like,
Hmm.
I'm really big into Afro beats right now. So, how
Appreciate
did
it.
you being Nigerian? I kind of know how you got into that process, but how did you think about bringing that, putting that on this album, 3 Feet from Gold?
So I'm assuming you're talking about All the Way with my
Yeah,
homeboy Pepper Dawn. Yeah,
yeah.
so me and Pepper have known each other for over since like 2010, and we're always constantly just working on new music. So we made that song, I believe, in 2019.
Okay.
Um, and I remember we made the song, and we usually make a lot of songs and we just put it to the side and such. So I made the song, put it to the side, and I had forgot all about the song. And I usually like to get different sounds on the album or like unique features. And we're about to work on a different song because me and him were working on a tape together.
Okay.
And I was like, dog, I know we got some other records that we haven't released yet. And then I was searching through the library, the vault, and then I found it. And I was like, yo, why did I never release this record? And I think it was because of the mixing issue at the time. We just couldn't find agreement on how we wanted to mix that record. But I found it and I was like, yo, I got to put it on the album because this is one of them ones where I feel like people are going to hear it and they're not used to hearing me on records like this in a sense. So it's a dope record. It's very different from what I usually do. And I think it would be dope just to be on the album. So, I put it out as a single back last year in the summertime and people loved it. And I was like, it gotta go on the album.
I got you. I got you. Because when I heard it personally, I heard it and I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm listening to Paper Corleone or somebody, a little bit of Burner Boy
Yeah.
right here. Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
was definitely like, oh, I'm vibing, I'm vibing. So, but then I was like, oh, he is Nigerian. So I get it. I
Yeah.
got it 100%. So I was like, yeah. Um,
Appreciate it.
yeah, no, no, no. It's dope. It's definitely dope. I was feeling it. So, I really want to stay on your music. Like, okay, so how did you first get started in music?
Great question. This is over 20 years ago. Um, I struggled to like just really let my thoughts out
Okay.
because even being Nigerian, you can't really talk about feelings to your parents. They ain't trying to hear that. So that affected me outside of like friendship, relationships, all this. And it was like I used to struggle just to let my thoughts out to people and just let them know, hey, this is how I'm feeling and such. So it started off as poetry. Just started writing in class. Like I was just like, let me just write these thoughts down. And then it became poetry in a sense. And then after that, one of my homies was reading it, and he was like, "Bro, you low key can put this in rap form." And so when I first started, it sounded like a poet on instrumentals, and it was tough for me because I was just like, "Yo, I don't really know how to rap like this." In a sense, I just know. So I then just started working on the craft a lot more and just really getting very serious with it. And 20 plus years later, you know, I'm still kind of doing the same thing, just at a very elite level of just sharing my thoughts or whatever I go through. And if I still, it's like, man, I don't know how to talk about it to you. Don't worry, I know what to do. I'm putting this song, and you're gonna hear such and such. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's how it started.
wow. That that it is a process, and I've met a couple
Mm,
people that have been poets and then started rapping. It's always a process learning how to put what you put on paper and then how to
facts.
deliver it a certain way. Now,
Hmm.
with you being from Houston, and I know your style is different than most Houston rappers, how were you able to adjust your style to get more listeners? Because in that area, it's a certain style that they gravitate
Yeah.
to, and you
Uh-huh.
definitely have a different style. But I
Uh-huh.
still hear the Houston influence in the bars you put out.
Yeah.
So
So
how were you able to mix that?
I had to learn that because one thing about me is like I jam so much type of music, and I'll listen to country, I'll listen to rock, I'll listen to Afro beats, I'll listen to almost everything. And I'm gaining influence from everywhere. And I was like, yo, I am from Houston. So, and I would hate that a lot of people in the city was like, yo, where you from? Houston. What? You ain't from Houston. And I'll be like, yo, I'm from Houston. And so what I had to learn was just like, I get influence from Houston. I have to learn how to put these in my songs. So records like Candy Coated Dreams Part Two, it was like, I added the I just popped my trunk, got my city shaking, I screwed my voice. And I was like, that's a Houston, chopped and screwed is what we do. We talk about cars a lot, the city and the culture. And I just really just brought that in and just made it my own. Like I put my own sound to Houston's culture. So it's just like, you know, picked up everything that I gained from my city and just like how can I make it me in a sense, and that's where you get records like Candy Coated Dreams and such.
Got you. I got you. I'm definitely feeling that because I was feeling Candy Coated Dreams. I was like, oh, this is definitely a Houston track for sure. Talking about Candy
Yeah,
Coated Dreams, yeah. So with
thank you.
that, I really want to get into your process of making a song. Well, I know you write poetry. So do you write
Hmm.
first or do you hear a beat, then you write? Because I've been around people that say they don't only write when they in the studio. So, but do you have some tracks already set up before you go to the studio or do you just get in the studio and do your thing?
So fun fact, the cool thing, I haven't been in a studio actually recording in an actual studio in probably like a very long time. I can't remember the last time. Everything I record at my house. I set
Okay.
up my own studio at the house. So usually my process is a little different. I usually find instrumentals because I don't really do the poet route no more. It's like I need a beat these days because I'll get a beat, jam the beat, I have it on repeat for a while, and start freestyling until a solid topic comes in my head where it's like, okay, I like this topic. Let me think of a hook, and I'm constantly thinking like of hooks because I take pride in writing hooks. So it's constantly I'm trying to think of what's the hook that I know is gonna go, and then once the hook comes to me, I start writing the verses.
Got you. Oh, I got you. I got you. Off that topic for a little bit. I'm gonna get away from the music, and I'm gonna say you're a pretty fly dressing dude, man. How you doing this fashion thing, man?
Man, I just see stuff. I like it. I rock it, man. That's really it, man. People be telling me, yo, your fashion be, I be like, I really don't know. I used to have a stylist, and then, she still helps me from time to time, but she's just extremely busy these days. But
Got
nowadays, it's just, I see something, I like it, I'm rocking it.
I got you. I got you. That's good to be able to take something, with the stuff you take and put it together. That's
Nice.
actually big in fashion. Like, but I was like, I'm looking, doing my research. I was like, oh, that's a dope fit right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but
appreciate that.
also I say that, and I don't want to bring up the Nigerian thing again, but Nigerians dress. So
Yeah,
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 it's always
yeah.
been a thing. Like, yeah. So I'm gonna get back into the music, man. We did the
Mm.
process, but like, is there any producers out there specifically that you're looking to work with? Artists you're looking to collab with, except for Kevin Cooks, he don't count, so you can't bring his name up. Anybody else you can bring up?
Yeah, shout outs to Kevin Cooks, man. Um, South is talking, but yeah, it's a couple people. Um, one of my homies, Max O'Cream. Uh, I know we're gonna knock out a record sometime in the future. Um, even artists that already made it, like I would want to collab with people like Andre 3000. Um, uh, Hit Boy on producing I have a list. Like if I go on this list, it could be the Jay-Z's, the Kanye's, the J. Cole's, the Kendricks, the Big Crits. It's a like everyone that's influenced me. I would like to do records with them, and even people that that their style is different from my style. Like I would love to do a record with Frank Ocean. Um, Earn, it's a new girl. She's not even new. I just really got put onto her the other day, and I've been jamming her since. And I might say her name wrong, so I don't even want to say because I'm gonna need my phone to. But it's like Earn Allen Kane, I believe. I might have said it wrong, but she's dope as well. And I love to collab with people like that that just bring a different style and inspire me.
Well, definitely, definitely. You know what I'm saying? I knew you was gonna name Three Stacks because he's an influence of yours. So I definitely
Absolutely.
understand that, man. So let me ask you this. I know with this being a social media area, internet area, how have you used social media to grow your brand?
Uh, Honestly, truth be told, I'm kind of lazy with social media. I get that. My girl complains to me. It's like, yo, you need to be posting more and such. Even like with this album out, I I'm not really active on social media as much as I should be. I will post probably like twice a month and then disappear where they're like, yo, you need to be posting like every day or at least like three times a week. And older, I'm just like, I can't think of, yo, it's time to create content. It's time to create content. Like my mind is like, yo, I'd rather just, create music really, but I just know in this new era of being an artist, you have to be a content creator. You have to you have to appease to social media and it's kind of weird to me. Like one thing about me, I never hide about what my followers, my likes on Instagram, anything like that. It's just like, yo, if I get 3 likes, it's staying on Instagram because it's just like I like the picture. I thought it was dope. And I'm not allowing social media to discourage me and say, "Yo, this is not hot" or "This is not what it is." So it's like, I'm gonna post what I think is dope, and just hope the rest of the world sees that.
I got you. I got you. So, like, and I'll be honest with that. I'm still learning social media, man.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm older too, so it's like, yeah, it is what it is, man. But
Yeah.
with everything we doing now, I was like, yeah, I got to create content. And I'm still learning how to create content. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so with that being said, man, I was like, with you being in the game, you basically saying 20 years.
Hmm.
What has changed in the game besides the social media side in the last 20 years that you wish would have happened earlier?
that I wish would have happened earlier.
Yeah, because I know in the last like 10 years, a lot has changed. It's easier for people to get on, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Something that you see now that you wish would have happened earlier in the industry.
Hmm. That's a good question. Let me see. Um, outside of social media, because social media is
Yeah,
that's one of the
outside of that,
benefits of.
because that's
Um. Well, I know some things I wish didn't change.
okay. That could be it.
Uh.
Didn't change,
Yeah.
change.
Um. The CDs, like going out to getting CDs, the art of like putting the album together, because nowadays it's so many artists out nowadays, and I know it's like music is constantly getting released. So I don't think we value albums as much as we used to back in the days. Like we can listen to an album like that's a dope album, and listen to it one twice, but for an album to be talked about for a month straight is very rare. Like back then, like I think I seen it the other day. Somebody was like, "Yo, we don't talk about Get Rich or Die Trying enough." And I remember when that album came out, I was in seventh grade at that time, and everybody in school had Get Rich or Die Trying. Like that was the album to be, and everybody had it. Everyone talked about it. Nowadays, it's just like, "Yo, this the hottest album for the day. Okay, tomorrow such and such is dropping the album. We gonna talk about it, and we just move on and we move on." So I think it's just because it's so easy to access music these days. We don't necessarily go out to go buy music. You don't have to go to the Walmart or Target or wherever to get your music. You can just literally the music's on the phone. Nobody
Right.
really buys the albums anymore. Like if you're buying the album, it's because you're really supporting the artist. But it's like, yo, I pay for Apple Music, Tidal, or Spotify. I can get the album easily. And so I think since it's so easy to access music these days, we don't really appreciate, like, yo, this person took 5 years to make this album or 3 years to make this album, and we jam it for a week straight and say, okay, on to the next album.
So yeah, okay. So what you're saying, you basically is you don't like the new. I don't want to
How
say
easy.
cookie cutter, but it's like everything right now and then it's over.
Yeah, it's it's a
Everything's a
it's a
trend. Everything's a
yeah,
trend now. So
correct.
yeah, I
It's a
got you. I got
trend.
you. And you also made me feel mad old during that because of how old you were when Get Rich or Die Trying came out.
Oh, yeah. I thought I
I was
was
in
old.
college, dog. So
Sheesh, yeah.
so yeah,
But
yeah. I was like, whoa, whoa, and I wasn't like a freshman either. So
gotcha. But that's just crazy because it tells you the wave of Get Rich, like it touched a mass of people, and and so many albums that did that. From Graduation to Blueprint to the Black Album to College Dropout. Like I could think of so many albums where the time and place where how it moved, it shifted the culture.
definitely.
Um, yeah, and it's just like I think in this generation, it's so many artists and it's so much music coming out, and it's like okay, we just jammed this album, dope album. All right, what's next? Or like for even for artists where it's just like they have to work on albums constantly, man. This person dropped an album 2 years ago, and it's like we're like, yo, we need the next album. We're not jamming your old stuff no more. What's new, or you're irrelevant now. And it's like it's a
Right,
process in creating. So yeah.
right. I definitely understand that, man. But all right, so before we get you out of here, man,
Hmm.
since we were talking about albums, and I figure I have the answer to what you're gonna say. What's your favorite hip hop album of all time?
Oh, that's hard. What do you think it is? What album you
I,
think
I was I
I
was
was
probably gonna say Equipment Eye because you threw that in there, and that's one of my faves. So like I
yeah.
I was cool with that.
Okay. That's one of my favorites. It's hard for me to say my favorite album. Like I have a lot of albums that took me, shifted me in different places in my life. So it's really hard to be like, yo, this is my favorite album. But I could say a top three, five. See, I don't even want to do top. I could just name some real great albums that really helped me. So
Okay, I
I'll
didn't say
try.
touch you.
You said top how many?
Just the albums, however many you want to give, but the
I'm
albums
gonna
that
say
touch you.
five. I'm gonna say five. I'm gonna say five.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So Aquemini for sure. Um. The Black Album.
Okay.
Uh. For Kanye. Oof. All right. I want to say College Dropout just for the strength of what it did to even me. Like I seen an artist that came in during the Jersey era wearing polo and shifting that. And, I wasn't even in college at the time, but I was just like, yo, hey, I could really relate to this album where like, school spirit and songs like that. And I was just like, I feel like I'm gonna be a college dropout. I graduated by the way, but yeah, that album was really
Congratulations.
cool. Yeah, I jammed that album throughout college. Like, yo, I gotta drop out. But I made it through. Those are three.
That's the yeah.
Uh, the Carter. That was that was one, and I'm gonna do a newer album of this. I'll say To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay, Spin Butterfly. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? That's five great albums right there, though.
Hmm.
I was like, for me, in any five album thing, I'm always gonna have Illmatic in there because I'm from there. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay, yeah.
yeah,
Um, I think I jammed Illmatic a little late. So, and I know what Illmatic did, but I think, it took me a while to see the importance of Illmatic or what it did to the culture because I was just like, at the time I jammed it, I didn't jam it with open ears. I was just like, let me listen to it. It's cool. And it was just like, nah, I really had to listen to it. So I don't add Illmatic because I always feel like, you know, at a time, like if someone listens to Get Rich or Die Trying right now, they'll be like, they probably wouldn't feel the same because they weren't there during the time Get Rich or Die Trying dropped. So, the impact or what it did. And since I was a youngin at that time, I didn't understand or I wasn't really in tune to the culture at that time when Illmatic dropped. So I had to go back and do research. I was like, yo, these are some dope songs. I just wish I had the mindset at the time to really embrace what the culture was, what was going on with the culture when Illmatic dropped.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I could say with Illmatic in general,
Hmm.
uh, but I don't know. Like I'm like I'm not a huge Nas fan like everybody else is, but that album was so dope to me.
Hmm.
But I don't know if it would have been as dope if he didn't have all the producers he had on it because what he did on Made Source Live at the Barbecue changed everything for him.
Yeah.
Because now everybody wanted to work with him. He was, so
Yeah.
yeah. But on that note, man, is there anything you could change about the industry right now? What would it be? And then we're gonna let you get out of here, man.
Anything I could change about the industry? Oh, um, anything I could change about the industry? I'd say, let talent be the first because I don't think talent is really the first thing that is really searched out in the industry. It's probably like looks, how well we can market this person, da 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 da. Like talent is probably like the least out of it. Like, I'll say like talent and work ethic. I think we appreciate a lot more artists more because there's so many dope artists out that never get the recognition for whatever reason. Maybe it's the marketing isn't it, and then we hear artists where it's just like, yo, how this person get famous, or whatever the case is, and it's like, okay, you know, the person has sex appeal or whatever the case is, but the talent is last on the list. And I just wish that we really focused on the craft of creating music more and letting that be like the focal point in the industry.
Definitely, I could definitely agree with that. Yeah, talent needs to shine through first. And
Hmm.
so, before we let you go, I just want you to, let the people know if you got any performances coming up, anything you're doing, how they can get at you on social media. So keep doing what you do.
For sure, man. You can follow me at MYKEYISO, Mikey Iso. Got some new music videos coming out soon from the album, so just be on the lookout for those. More shows to come in the future. I don't have none right now. I just sold out at the House of Blues, so I'm kind of chilling. But
That's big.
I do appreciate it. Just practicing the guitar, trying to get better at it for the next show. So
I
that's
got
just where I'm at with it.
That's right. I did see that. I did see you, playing the guitar in the video. Like, I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But definitely
Oh yeah.
appreciate you coming on the juice, man. Uh, once again, always thank the Social Ghost for the platform, man. D Willis for doing the production behind the scenes, and thank y'all for tuning in to the juice this week, man. See y'all next week.